I like to, when I do a reading for someone, I like to remind you all that you're a participant of every reading that you have. So, I've been told that when I am actually channeling, that you guys are channeling too. So you're actually channeling your higher selves whenever I'm reading you. And I know that people can actually stop a reading from happening. If you're really, really anxious or really, really skeptical, your energy can be shut down. And so it's almost like you've got this protective shield around you that stops anybody from reading you. And the other thing that always stops me being able to read people is grief, believe it or not. So when someone comes to me and I have a hard time kind of feeling into their energy and feeling their frequency, I always say to them, wow, you've lost somebody and you're still in the process of grief. And it's always true every single time. So even they might have lost somebody a year ago and they're still grieving because, grief lasts for as long as it lasts. There's no rushing that river. And so that shuts their energy down. So I always, whenever I'm doing a reading for anyone, what I always ask them to do is just take a couple of big deep breaths and relax. And what you've got to do is kind of center yourself and take your awareness to your heart chakra. Because remember, as we tune into higher guidance, what we're doing is we're tuning into the frequency of love and light. And we're connected to that frequency of love and light through our heart chakra. So sometimes it helps you to think momentarily of someone that you love a lot. It could be your favorite pet or a child that you know in your family or a loved one of any sort. And if you think briefly of that loved one and connect with the energy of love in your heart, that is the pathway to your own higher guidance. So that ability or capacity that we have to love comes from our divine higher selves, because that's what the matrix, the universe, is made of. So just tune into your hearts, try and relax your energy. So you just keep taking a couple of deep breaths, and as you breathe out, just imagine letting go of all of the negative energy, negative thought forms, negative thoughts through all time, space, dimensions, and all realities. And as you let go of that negative energy, just feel yourself going into balance, harmony, and equanimity. And this is what I do when I'm connecting to my higher guidance. I connect to my guide goddess Mart. So Mart is constantly present with me and has been with me since I was born. I only found out just recently, but apparently she was always there. But since about 2006, I've been able to feel Mart's energy coming into the right side of my body. And it's not as if I have to connect with her in any way. She's always there. So all I have to do is energetically turn towards her, or just set the intention that I'm going to connect with her energy. And I feel a pressure, a vibration, a warmth coming into the right side of my face and head and the right side of my body. And I can feel her presence there now. So I'm just going to give it a minute. So I'm going to go quiet for a minute just to give it a minute to connect with her. And I will let her lead you into a meditation and bring through a message from her for you all today. And we greet you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator, the one infinite creator of which you are all a part. We know it is hard for you to comprehend or understand that you could possibly be separated and alone on planet Earth. For indeed you are not. You are never alone. Third dimensional reality, Earth, was set up as a kind of training ground, the fiercest training ground that you could possibly have as a soul. It's the hardest place that you can incarnate. And what's difficult about planet Earth is it is the planet the dimension of intense emotions. Now, emotions are wonderful when they are communicating information to you, which is their purpose. When you feel an emotion, it's a communication from your inner being, your higher self. A communication that gives you information about whatever it is you're going through or experiencing in that moment. When you are feeling negative emotion of any sort, whether it is sadness, anger, anxiety, despair, loss, grief, hurt, whatever that emotion is that you are feeling, it is a communication that whatever you are thinking and focusing on, whatever your reaction is in that moment, is not in harmony with your greater good. And it is not in harmony with the way your higher self would interpret the situation you're facing. Remember, just because you have a thought doesn't mean that it is true or real and that you need to pay attention to it. You have been given free will on planet Earth, which means that you have the free will to be able to determine how you interpret and perceive everything that happens to you. Now, if you have set your intention on Earth to be happy, to be peaceful, to be loving, to be generous and joyful and kind and compassionate and all the other positive emotions you could ever remember, then you will want to edit your thoughts. And in that way, you will change your emotions or feelings, change what you were feeling about something. It is always in your highest good to be feeling at the positive end of the scale, because that is when you are in tune with your higher self, your authentic self, your soul. Your soul doesn't see your lifetime on Earth the same way that you see it. From our greater perspective, we see that your lifetime on Earth is like your own version of a Hollywood blockbuster movie. And you have all cast yourselves in different roles. Some of you have cast yourselves as angels, and some of you have cast yourselves and others as demons. That doesn't mean that they are. And that is the way that we can release judgment about anyone on the planet, including the worst of your negative murderers and serial killers and pedophiles. We can release judgment from our higher perspective because we know to some extent that this is a role that they are playing. This will be very difficult for a lot of you to hear. We're not saying that you don't have to hold judgment, because the whole notion of not having judgment or not holding judgment about your fellow travelers on planet Earth is ridiculous. You have to use your discernment. You have to use your preferences. There are things that you prefer to see in your life. You may prefer love and oneness, compassion and kindness. And if that is the case, then you will want to edit out of your life people and experiences and places that are not in harmony with that preference. And so to some degree, we would still call that a judgment. But you really are the star in your own Hollywood blockbuster. And you are writing the script. And you have appointed all of the roles of all the people that play in your Hollywood blockbuster. So again, that means that you take responsibility. It's not as if you are ever a victim, but you may choose to decide not to allow somebody into your space. You still have boundaries. You still discern and decide what it is that you are going to accept as behavior directed towards you. Now, we come from the goddess energy, and in truth, what you would call in spirit is God, goddess, all that is. It is one. and you are all one with us. You are not just some lowly ego personality construct that you have given and your parents gave a name, and that is who you are. That is not the way it is. You are an aspect of God, Goddess, all that is. You are the Goddess doing it your way on the planet. However you are doing your life, that is how you are able to do it, how you are able to be part of the Goddess energy. Now, God, Goddess, all that is doesn't always show up as good and perfect in the light. Sometimes God, Goddess shows up in the shadows and the darkness, because you all have shadows attached to yourself. You are all capable of good or not so good. And when you accept the part of you that is your shadow self, the monster inside you, when you accept that you are capable of all things, then you can choose not to act in an evil or ugly way. You choose to act in a higher, lighter way that is attuned to the vibration of love and gratitude and kindness. Then you have become a master. Then you are embodying the God, Goddess consciousness on earth. So we wish to present you with the opportunity today to remember that you are the Goddess incarnated on earth, and you came with a very important role. You came with a very important message. Anyone who is female in this lifetime has come with a nurturing energy and a connection to the heart, because women know how to offer love and caring towards another and to put others before themselves. This is a thing many men on the planet struggle with. Not all men struggle with it, but many men on the planet struggle with being able to put others before themselves. But not you. You came knowing that you were coming for a reason, to shine light wherever you went. And it's not that you have to be a martyr and do things for other people all the time. Sometimes just the presence of your energy and your light and your wisdom in any situation will be enough. And that is what your soul, your higher self, wanted for you, to help shed and spread the light on planet Earth. You are going through a very difficult time on planet Earth. But it's juicy, it's an adventure. You came here to be part of exactly what is happening. So remember, don't get caught up in the negativity and the conspiracy theories and the darkness on the planet, because you came to be the light. You came to be love and kindness and nurturing and giving, always with boundaries, always putting yourself central in your life and loving yourself first, and giving with the remaining energy that you have after you have supported and loved and taken care of yourself. But this is what you came here for. You came to be part of what is going on now. It is a shift in consciousness that will change planet Earth. Now, it might not happen in your lifetime, because even we do not know how long it is going to take for the changes to happen in all of the institutions across your planet, in governance and politics, in medicine, in education, and in every area, finances, every area of the institutions of your planet. There will be change. Some of it will have to happen slowly. Some of it will happen faster. But you are a part of all that. And in order to fulfill your destiny, to be a part of all that, what you are going to do is you are going to remain positive. You are going to be an uplifter. You are going to be the wise voice and the light in any conversation, in any group, in every day, in every family. Remember, you are the conduit through which source energy enters the planet. Women are the conduit through which source energy enters the planet, because we come in love and light, and you are love and light. So your task Your work is to remember your spiritual practice. Remember, you came here for a reason, and you are never a victim. And we do not mean for you to give your value away to a man in your life. You are not simply the value that you assign to yourself because you are in a relationship with a man. There are many, many light workers on the planet who have come and are women alone without relationship. There are many men that are alone without relationship on the planet. And it's not an accident. It's purposeful, because sometimes being in a relationship isn't for your highest good. It can be very distracting. It can take your attention away from your purpose here on earth. It can distract you, especially if you're someone who has huge amounts of empathy and nurturing and naturally lends your energy and service to others. If you are one of those, then it is highly likely that you will be putting someone else first, someone else's feelings, someone else's feeling good, someone else's opinions before your own, simply to keep the peace or to make someone else feel better. And that is why you are not in a relationship. Because at this time, we need you to do what you came here to do, to be the light that you are, to be the goddess that you are, and shine that light everywhere you go. Be authentic, be real, be wise. And remember, whenever you are holding negative emotion, whenever you are not feeling good, whenever you are anxious or angry, you are not listening to your higher, wiser guidance. You are listening to your ego. So your job is to determine the difference between your ego mind and your higher, wiser mind, and listen to the higher, wiser mind. That's your work. It is unfortunate that third dimensional reality, the blueprint of third dimensional reality, is such that you stepped through the veil when you came here and you agreed to that. But it is a forgetting. You forgot who you are. You forgot all of the other lifetimes that you have lived and all of the skills and gifts and resources that you had before you came here. And you were tasked with remembering who you are all over again. It wasn't for no reason. It has a very purposeful reason, because when you remember who you are not, then it catapults you. It transforms you so much more quickly into who you really are. So those of you who are rebellious, those of you who won't be told what to do, who steer your own course no matter what, who like to make your own choices, who don't like to be told what to do, those of you will be catapulted much more quickly into transformation and change that will remind you who you really are and your connection to God, Goddess, all that is, much more deeply and completely. That is the way third dimensional reality has been set up. And for all of you that are here today, for all of you that are listening to this message now or after, remember, you are here because you remember who you are. You already have your feet on the path to spiritual awakening, and you will be at different levels or different places of that spiritual awakening, and that's okay. But you are awakening. You are awakening to who you really are, God, Goddess, all that is, and that we are all one, and they all want the same thing. Everyone just wants to be loved and nurtured. Everyone wants to be positively affirmed. Everyone wants to be heard and understood. That's all. We are no different. So remember that when you meet someone who appears to be selfish, narcissistic, or dark in their energy, remember that they too just want to be loved and heard and understood. They just don't know how to do it. And you can share your light with them. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you need to become their victim, you need to spend lots of time around them, or you need to let your boundaries down in order to rescue them. Quite the opposite. Be the light. Show other people around you how to love yourself by doing it. Be the model for light and wisdom on the planet. Women, are going to save this planet. Women's energy is coming to the fore. 2,000 years ago, before the Abrahamic religions came to the fore on the planet, the goddess energy was dominant. And then once the patriarchal Abrahamic religions got in the way, the goddess was demoted. But you know what goddess love is. You know what it is to love planet Earth, goddess Gaia, to be one with all of the planet and the animals, to love children and babies and the partners that you call into your life. You know what that is. It's love. And you are the conduit through which love enters the planet. Remember that. So we know that you have questions today, and we are happy to be here to assist our channel to answer those questions for you. With love and with light, we send you blessings and healing and joy. Oh, my eyes always get glued shut when I do that. Okay. Ingrid, are you unmuted? Ingrid.
I have questions. So I'm not sure if everyone was aware about having the questions ready.
I didn't tell them, so that's my fault. So if anyone's got questions that you want to ask, okay, I'll just give you a couple of parameters for you to ask those questions. One is I don't answer medical questions, and that includes pregnancy. I don't answer questions like that. It's not my thing. And the other one is if you're asking a question about a relationship that you have with someone else, the way I work is I need to see their photo and I read photos. So you might need to book a personal reading if you want me to actually tune into a person in particular that you're having a relationship with. But any general questions about relationships are fine, or anything else. So just find the chat button, the chat thing at the on the bottom of your Zoom bar, and send Ingrid a message to say that you'd like to ask a question, and she will unmute you so that you can chat with me one-on-one. How's that?
So Amanda can go next.